Okay, thank you so much for the organizer who shared the videos. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and good morning to everyone who just joined off Prentice events today, which is habits of highly effective academics. Okay, so I believe all of you are academics today or will become academics one day. So I would like to welcome all of you to this event, and thank you for joining us. One of the Prentice event that will be held monthly with our honorable guests. So, but before we start, let us recite Al-Fatiha to find blessing to this event, inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All right, thank you so much. So before I introduce our speaker today, let me introduce myself. My name is Hairayu. I'm a lecturer from International Islam University, Malaysia. So our honorable guest today, we have it last month, which is Professor Engineer Technologist, Dr. Muhammad Rizal Arshad, which is graduated from University of Liverpool, UK in 1994. And he got his PhD in 1999 and in electronic engineering. And his master is from University of Salford, 1995. His area of specializations are ocean robotics, instrumentations, control, and intelligence system. All right, so Prof. Rizal is a fully professor at USM. So without any delay, I would like to invite Prof to share with us the habits of highly effective academics. So over to you, Prof.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Harayu, for the kind introduction. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning Salam sejahtera to all who are online attending this webinar. Firstly, I hope my voice is clear enough. So in case you can't hear me, please do inform me. So let me share my slides. Can you see the slides? Yes?
Yes, Prof.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let me continue. Okay. So this morning topics is about habits of highly effective academics. And I presume, safely assume that most of us joining this morning session is from the academic sector. Okay. So I'm currently working in USM in Nibung Tebal, Pinang, Electrical Electronics. Now, this is my 23rd year working in academia. I started in March 1999. So I think certainly each one of us have our own, I would say, hope, goals, and aspiration when we started joining academia. I mean universities. For various reasons. I don't think we all of us start with the same intent or with the same goals. We have different desires and intentions, surely. But we are equal in terms of we are all working in Institute of Higher Learning. And okay, let me just. Okay. So there are many words. I think we can do a simple like surveys in terms of when you think about academia, what would be the words that we describe the vocation or the profession. So there are many words like opportunity, freedom, student satisfaction, research, teaching. So many words that can be associated with working in the academic sector. And I think when we talk about working as a profession, as a vocation for us, we talk about having an income at the end of the month, right? So that's why you can't put that away from you. That means no matter how noble is was our intention when joining the academia, at the end of the day, we talk about happiness, about income, about promotion, so that we hope that sometimes this equation may not be correct at all. It may, in certain truth, be money plus you an unhappy person plus some money, you'll be happy. In general, that would be the case. But talking about profession as an academic, is this true? Is this the only governing parameter that governs our happiness index as an academic in a university setting? So this is the things that I would like to discuss, maybe share. And please do, if you have any questions or you have any things that you want to say, you can. I'm a bit liberal on this format. You can always ask me. No need to wait until the end. If you think there are things that you want to say, you want to ask me, feel free to voice your views, and I will try to respond to that. And then I think all of us are very familiar with this. This is Maslow's triangle of needs in terms of the level of needs that we have as a human being. We talk about physiological needs. Those are the basic needs, right? Food, water, sleep, income, and those are basic needs that give some that covers our basic necessities to continue living. They'll talk about safety, about love and belonging, and it goes higher and higher until when we do things, we talk about self-actualization and trying to understand the meaning of doing things, why we do things, and whether we add to make this life meaningful. These are the levels of human needs according to Maslow, and these are very popular. I think it's not something new. And I think this is also important to us, because when we talk about academics, we always talk about, some people tend to philosophize. It means try to address the roles and responsibility of academics from the philosophical point of view. The big the significant or very important roles that we play in educating the masses. But at the end of the day, if the physiological needs, the basic needs of an academic have not been satisfactorily addressed, and the philosophical discussion or the higher level discussion, that meaning, etc., will not be of any effect in terms of how we lead our daily activities as an academic. So that's why we need to balance this, because we still have our own needs. We still need to lead a meaningful life. So how do we balance it? So as an academic, we are in a position, as in any other kind of job, as is in any kind of profession, there are the plus points, there are the stress points that we're going to have to maneuver in order to ensure that we reach our goals. Okay. So let us do some pondering. If we talk about academics, when I talk about academics, we talk about trying to be effective, trying to be an excellent academics. And then it boils down to be the common discussion is that how can I get promoted? How can I progress in my career ladder? How can I get promoted from, let's say, a lecturer to senior lecturer, from senior lecturer to associate professor, and then to my professorship, and etc. It never ends. So you talk about promotion, and all this discussion about KPIs, key performance indicators, about the new targets, goals. For example, when some universities now have make it very stringent in terms of even confirming the appointment of teaching staff, for example. I remember when back in my time, when I joined the university, USM, back in March 1999, I was told, you are in the, this is probationary, you are given 3 years to confirm your post. So within 3 years, no matter how excellent we are, no matter how bad we are, we need to wait 3 years before we can get a confirmation of our post. And then apa dia panggil lantikan tetap lah. And nowadays some universities like USM nowadays, there are consolation that they do not give you any permanent post. You will be appointed on the contract basis until within the first 7 years, until you get your associate professor, before you can get the permanent position in the university. So that changed everything. That changed many things in terms of how one needs to plan the progression, one's progression in the career. So promotion is the bread and butter, the worry, I would say, among the major worry of an academic staff nowadays. In a public university, of course, even in a private university, how can you get promoted with all these KPIs, with all this expectation and all the constraints that you are facing as an academic in a university setting? So with the promotion, and people believe that people assume or believe, they hope that with the promotion, their stature, the position will increase in terms of his position, in terms of salary will increase, and I'll be happier. So I'll be happier. I think the keyword is I'll be happier than what I am today. And we know that in order to get the promotion, you need to meet or better exceed the KPIs or the outcome expected from you. Set by your university. So these are the things that we know. This is the reality that we are facing. And we know that in order to deliver the KPIs, you need, or I need, the right amount of research funding. You have enough sufficient research funding. You want to have your own very high quality postgraduate students. You want to have access to good facilities, equipment. You want to, as much as possible, very minimum teaching staff, in terms of promotion perspective, the non-fundamental or critical tasks. Of course, we know that as a lecturer, as an academic, teaching is our core job actually. The quotas of academics to teach. In terms of promotion, that may not contribute so much in terms of your promotion. And then talk about availability of the infrastructure, the infrastructure, the PCs, etc. Of course, the constructive co-workers, very comfortable, supportive workplace. So these are the ideals that will help us to be able to achieve our KPIs. But we know that if we have this, we are pretty sure Allah we can deliver not just meet the KPIs, maybe exceed the KPIs set by the institutions, publication, supervision, product commercialization, high quality teaching and learning activities, income ratio, etc. So, and we believe that with this, our opportunity for career progression will be brighter and we'll be happier and happier ever after. So this is the simple ponderings that I was trying to, when I think about why we want to be an effective academic personnel, because at the end of the day we would like so that we would like at the end of the day we achieve our goal. And I for example, as an academic in a institution of higher learnings, one of the goals is to be a professor. A full professor is something that you should aim for. If you are working in a research institute, it's a different story. But if you are working in a full-fledged university, you should aim to become a full professor, because this is a profession that is good to have aims, because you may or may not achieve it, but that will guide be a guide, the guiding stars in terms of how you want to plan your career. So at the end of the day, when being academic, we are seeking contentment in life. Contentment means happiness, being glad, being happy, being comfortable with what we have. And it's not purely about being a millionaire. We want to be a millionaire, then we are happy. No, we want to be content. That contentment in life via the profession that we are in now as an academic. So this is what we hope for. But what if the real situation is never that rosy and comfortable? The real situation it's very difficult to get research funding. It's I know of some of my previous students, they got research funding, but very difficult to get students. How do you get a good high quality postgraduate student? Will sometimes make or break your research. Because to be frank about it, be honest about it, you wouldn't have the capacity to do your research on your own. You need students to assist you to work in a team. And then sometimes you will also see in some universities the KPIs keep changing, no? Every time you see it, change. So it's like the goalpost is ever moving further and further away, or higher, either further or higher and higher. So you're grappling to understand the previous KPIs. Now the new KPIs are coming, and we know I think as an academic staff we can appreciate, we can empathize, we can understand why the organization needs to set the KPIs, because the organization is also answerable to the ministry is answerable to etc. There are always someone answerable to the other one. You need to be reporting to someone. So we know, because we are not we are grappling, we are struggling to understand the KPIs and understand the multitudes of KPIs. Which one we need to aim? Which one will contribute significantly to our promotion? Remember, at the end of the day, the bread and butter is about promotion, because promotion is about fulfilling the first few layers of our Maslow's the triangle of needs, the pyramid of needs. So we need to be able to understand that, because this is if we meet the KPIs, the outcome, then we are able to be considered, for example. And then on top of that, we have all this additional work keep coming to us. I used to talk to some junior staff and some junior than me. They sometimes they complain that when I was in UNIMED before, they say, Prof, I got a new subject every semester. So every semester he got new subject. He's assigned new subject. So You know, as a lecturer, you know, if you are assigned a new subject, it takes more hours, it takes more preparation. You need to study, you need to prepare, you need to evaluate do a complete preparation. And imagine having a new or literally new subject every semester. So that will immediately take away a lot of your time to prepare learning. It's good for the students anyway, but it will bring big tolls on you because you wouldn't have enough time to do other things, research, writing proposal for research grant, etc. Then you start to question, why am I here at all? Why am I here? And after being in the academic for about 20 years, I've seen some of this pattern of behavior. People start to question and start to lose hope and get frustrated and couldn't care less of all the KPIs laid out by the institutions, which is actually will be very detrimental to him or her. So we cannot like just shoot away the KPI. The KPI will be there, and it will be used to measure our performance. So these are the issues that we need to take grip of. Okay? And we know, as a human being, we are always there are things that will stress us out. There are things which will give us hope, that will push us to work, to give our best in order to achieve goals. And this is what we call this performance and level of stress. So we need a certain level of stress in order for us to push ourselves. If there's no stress, there will be no progress. As simple as that. Because there's no stress, there's no need to change. There's no need to put any effort, then there's no progress. So there is what we call a eustress, or what we call a good stress, the middle part of the chart, the bell curve. That is what we want to be in. This is what we call a eustress, or good stress. That means just good enough amount of stress that will push us forward. So in academia, if you have an excess of stress, this is where we are pushed to the right hand side of the curve, and you go into distress. You go into distress, you have fatigue, exhaustion, health issues, breakdown, and burnout. And it's not unique, and they're glaring occurrence of academics, burnout, breakdowns, and too much stress for them to perform. And I would say academic is like a superhuman. They need to perform well in teaching and learning. They cannot lack that. They need to really become a very excellent educator, good teacher. They need to be a very high quality researcher. They need to be a very good administrator. They need to contribute to university and to society. They need to be a businessman. Nowadays, you need to become a businessman. You need to create income generation. In my university, and of course in many other universities, if you generate income, that will be counted for your promotion, for your KPIs. So we are expected to become excellent in all fields. Everything that we touch becomes gold. So this is like if you heard the myth of Midas touch, right? Everything he touch, the king touch, become gold. So and it is impossible. It's not impossible. It's possible because people have done it. But generally, it's very difficult to be an excellent individual in all sectors. That's why I appreciate the effort by some universities to have a career path. So you can have your career path. You want to become a researcher path, or you want to become a teaching path. You're taking a teaching path for career evaluation. Are you going for professional path? Are you going for managing admin path? So they provide. When I was, I think the Orange Book from the ministry, they provide 4 paths, career path, a career ladder progression, where you can choose. And this is at least a bit, at least the least it do is that it helps the academics to streamline their plan, where they are heading, which path he or she would like to take. But at the end of the day, the bottom line still, you still have to publish papers, you still have to teach, you still have to supervise students, you still have to write papers, but maybe the emphasis will be according to the path that you've chosen. At least it's better than before, where you're expected to excel in all domain of evaluations. And so as an academic, you need to take hold and we must understand the environment we are in, what are expected out of us. If you do not know where you are in, then you will be in trouble. And because there is a mismatch between what are expected out of us and what we assume people want us to do. So the mismatch will be detrimental to both parties, to us as individual, as an academic university, and to the institution, because the institution has failed to make the staff, the academics, appreciate or understand their roles and responsibility in what are expected of them, and the staff have failed in terms of understanding what are expected of them, and both party will lose. And you know that any party of this, either the academic or the university lose, everyone will lose out, because we are in a very big ship, and when there's hole everywhere, the whole ship will sink, not just one individual. So it has long-term repercussions. Okay. So I hope you are still with me now. Still with me. So the topic today is about habits of highly effective academics or lecturers. So who are working in learning. So who is an academic? Like us, who are supposed to who in the front line in terms of teaching and learning activities, in terms of the research activities, and in terms of doing the actual work supposedly need to be delivered by the university, by the institution. And what is an effective academic staff? Academics, those who have ensured that what they are doing can be linked or can be mapped directly to what are to the KPIs, to the goals, to the ambitions, or to the vision and mission of the institution. So if let's say the organization is going to the north, everyone is heading north. The organization is going to the north and you're going to the west or east or south, worst south, we are in trouble, because where we're heading is it's not in line with where the university wants us to go to. So effective academic means what we are doing and our activities will be directly contributing to the bigger aims or bigger goals of the university. And then what about highly effective? I was thinking, I think it's just a title. Highly effective means I was saying that it's not just meeting the goals and expectations set by our schools, our faculty, or university, but exceeding it. And this is in this time of the season, in this time of the, I think the reality today is it's going to be very challenging. Exceed the expectation, even to meet the expectation is a challenge. What more to exceed the expectations? And one thing for sure, I give you an example. I used to be part of the top management of university when I was in UMAP. I remember when there was a year that we do the ministry have to cut the budgets, to the university. Budget cuts is a norm nowadays. Is year in, year out, budget cuts are being handed over to the university in terms of millions. We're not talking about reducing 1 to millions. We're talking about 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. And to operate a university is not cheap. It's not a very, you need a lot of money to run a university. And to pay our salary, I think at least 50 to 60% of the allocation of the funding by the government, I'm talking about public university, is to pay the emolument of the salaries of the academics. That's why during the early part of the pandemic, many private colleges closed down because students cannot register, cannot attend, and they have no money to really basically run the colleges. So that's why. But lucky, of course, for us with the public university, we have the government, and we know that in any country, among the few sectors that cannot be closed down is, first is the medical sector, second is the education sector. government closes down, then the countries die. The country as a country die. Okay, so and then what kind of habits? What kind of habits that will take us there? What kind of habit that will take? So we can discuss this philosophically on the bigger words, vision, mission, organization. But now, when we talk about all these things, we just want to survive. Basically, we want to survive. We want to survive. Cover the first few layers of the needs, our basic needs, and then at the end of the day, hopefully, we will reach a level where we can really contribute meaningful things to the university, and what more to the community, to the country. So this is the utopian, or this is what we call the ambitions or the goals that we would like to do. Of course, there are things, the day-to-day issues, but there are also the long-term goals and ambitions that we need to have also. Okay. So let me just start off. I hope to cover maybe around 4 minutes, maybe until 11 o'clock. Then we can do some. Okay. I welcome you to maybe write in the chat if you have any comments. Okay. So background. As an academic, we must realize this is a job. This is a job. We know that this is a job. This is to generate income, to fulfill our financial needs, to sustain our life. So this is the most basic things that we do. And this job has a very clear characteristic, which is roles and responsibilities. I would be very surprised if you say that, oh, I do not know what I'm supposed to do. No. It's very clear. Right from the onset, we know, we are told our roles and responsibilities. The issue is whether we can do it well or not. It's not that we do not know what to do. We know what we need to do. It's like when you ask each one of us, if you are sincere to ourselves, and we ask ourselves why we are not successful, why we did not get what others have got. I think we know the answer. We should have done this, we should have done this, we should have done this. But the thing is, we may not have done it. If you ask me, I know I should have done this, I should have, but we didn't do it. There must be a reason why we did, and only us, we only us know why we did not do things that we should do. Okay, and then we must also appreciate that this is a long-term career. Especially if you join the public universities like myself, I got another about 9 years until I'm about 51 now. So I'll be here 23 years. So we're talking about another 9 years, 9 years. So still long. So altogether, that will be around 32 years of service. If I live that long, 32 years of service in the university. And you cannot plan short term. You should plan long term. First plan long term and then break it down. Let's say generally some people will join the university in public university after PhD probably around 30 years old. Then they have another 30 years old. 30 years more, 30 years more to serve the university. It's okay, maybe you move to a different university, but still within the academic setting. 30 years more. So what can we do in these 30 years? What should we? And that's why I used to ask when I was in UNIMAP, even in USM, I asked when I was a dean and I was a deputy vice chancellor, even the active vice chancellor, I asked them, how do you see yourself in the next 20 years, 30 years? And I asked them, does it seem logical that you're going to be a professor after 3 years? Of course, yes. After 30 years or after 20 years, it's very logical. But you have to have your plans. And for those more ambitious, they say, they are 30 years old, I want to become professor at 40 years old. So their strategies will be different because they only set themselves 10 years to do all the KPIs in order to fulfill the basic requirement to become a full professor, for example. So it's a long-term career. You have to have the long-term vision, not so much embroiled in the short-term issues. Always look further. That will help us a lot. in managing our stress. That's what we have. And then we know that the goals to measure one's success or effectiveness in delivering may vary from time to time. But because they are KPIs set by the institutions, set by the schools, set by the faculty, and they are KIPs, the key performance indicators, the key intangible parameters. For example, teamwork, communication, being a team player, being very people who network with many people. So these are the KIPs, what we call in USM, they call it KIPs, key intangible parameters, things that you cannot measure. Like as they say, there are things which is countable but you cannot count. But there are things that which you can count but not countable. so KPIs are things which is you need to count, and those you count only those are countable. But KIPs are things which is uncountable. You cannot measure. How do you measure teamwork, communication skill, being very welcoming, very friendly? So those are very intangible things. But these are things that we need to develop as we progress in our career, because you want to be happy, right? You want to live in a work environment where you enjoy, you appreciate the warmth, the camaraderie, the friendship, your colleagues, and you want to learn, you want to share your views on things. So you need to create. There must be an environment, and it must start with you. Okay, and we know as an academic, there's no working hours, fixed working hours. I remember in USM, even until today, only today during the pandemic that we have to check in. And when I joined USM back in March 1999, there was no such thing as clock in or punch card or nothing. You are given the freedom because there's no 8 to 5. You are expected to work 8 hours, but there's no fixed working hours. You may need to go to the lab at night. And it's quite common when I work, I need to go to the research lab after sometimes Isha, after my grade, have to do some work. So it's common to us. There's no working hour, fixed working hours. And one thing that I like about university is opportunities for growth and also progress are plenty. There's so many opportunities for growth and progress as an individual, and opportunities to assist the organization. So these are the things that we must understand. And I think I just purposely show these slides because these slides are very, I think if you Google it, it's among the slides which is many people refer to one. It's talk about the job of a lecturer. What does a lecturer do? What does a lecturer do? And admittedly, these are among the things that we do. May not be at the same time, probably not simultaneously, but within the academic life, you have to do many of these things. Teaching is a core job that you have to do. Research, now it becomes one of the fundamental things that you need to do in order, especially when it relates to promotion activities. And service is something that you cannot run away, because as I remember I said earlier that as an academic, you are superhuman. You excel in every sector. Everything you touch must turn into gold. Hopefully real goal, not fake goal. So that means you are expected to deliver in every angle. So this is a challenge, and I wouldn't like to see this chart because it scares me, and so maybe you see more simplified ones. So at least you are more confident with what you need to do. This one looks very scary to me. So, but there are different expectations of academic life. I think I just got it from Google. So how professors spend their time, and not professors in academics are not just professor, lecturers. I think this is in the States, all lecturers are called professors, right? Commonly. So there are expectations from the organization how we spend our time. There are expectations that how we actually spend our time and how we like to spend our time. So there are different expectations. So we have to be careful. There are one of these three is the actual reality that we are living day in, day out. So sometimes there are people who couldn't care less what the university wants them to do, what they're expected to. They just do what they like. There are people who are very discipline and very lurus lah kan, dia akan buat exactly macam what expected out of them from by the institution and etc. So this is, so you need we need to do a reality check what actually, how actually we spend our time. It's like when if you start wake up in the morning until you stay at night, sometimes we need to spend a bit more sometimes just to evaluate how we actually spend our time. So as an academic, you need to have a reality check actually whether you have whether we have really utilized time to the best of our ability in order to meet our goals. It's not, and for all you know, maybe we have spent a lot of times complaining. We complain things, complain here, complain this guy, complain about the team, complain about the rules and regulation, complain about, I don't know, the cleaners, complain about the office workers, admin, etc. And that will take a lot of time away from thinking or executing the actual task that we need to do. And of course, depending of where you are, like USM, the research university, then I used to be in UMAP, which is a technical university. Then you have the comprehensive university, you have the different kind of universities, and you cannot there are fine differences between these, clear differences between these institutions, and depending on where we are, we need to ensure that we fine-tune our planning, what we are doing, so that it is in line to where we are. So that we are not caught by surprise that what we have done for the last 5-10 years are nothing to do or not is not even in line with what the university expected from us. Itu kesian lah. Kita dah spend time, lalu sebenarnya tak sama pun. Tak meet, not even meet our KPI, but our KPI actually far away from the actual KPIs or performance indicators as stated or as expected by our university. Ini kesian lah, pity lah. So kita nak as much as possible, make sure they in line as early as possible. Jangan tunggu sampai ni lah. And it depends on where you are. So if you are the type of person that change university, this university, then you go to another university, then you have to make sure that you modify accordingly your strategies and your planning, because it will not be the same. So the thing is, an academics is like it's about differentiation. As much as we know that the KPIs are unique, it's not unique. It's common to all academic staff. We know that all of us are unique. We can only really contribute sometimes not in one or few specific domains of the KPIs. So we need to have a realization of what is our strength and our weaknesses. If we are very strong in all fields, good for us, no problem. But if we are not, at least we know ourselves. We know what we are strong in, where we are weak, we are not that strong. So that we know we can compensate those weaknesses with our strength. That's what I'm saying. There are differentiation with us. The KPIs may not differentiate us, but our response to the KPIs and differentiation immediately. It's immediate. It shows immediate differentiation. Because I see, for example, even my own experience, my colleagues, there are people who publish like crazy, you know. No, not crazy. They're not crazy. They publish like crazy. I mean, they publish in high quality papers, high quality journals, like so regular, and yet they are very weak in consultation, working with industry. And I can see some of my colleagues who are very good with industry collaboration, but they do not publish very well. So there are things in the bigger picture. We can always compensate with the weaknesses that we have with the strength that we have. So that looking as a whole, we can be considered an effective academic staff. And we know among the things that I expect from us, it's about publications. And the whole point of the cartoon strip is just to show the change of expectation. I remember before that, when we talk about publication, you just publish out whatever you can publish. I remember when I was doing my PhD in Liverpool back in 96, 99. I did ask my supervisor what kind of publication expected. And he said, if you publish like 2 international conferences, good enough for you. So I published into it, and good enough for me. That had to be plus with my PhD, what to be considered given my PhD. But nowadays, no, the publication is expected to. It's not. International conference is not sufficient. You need to go for I don't know, maybe Q2 at least, Q1 better. 1 to not even 1, maybe 2, 3. So you should be published or publish and perish. Not just publish in high impact journals or perish. Nowadays they say publish frequently in high impact journals and maybe you won't perish. That means by default everyone will perish. Yeah, true enough. But in terms of the academic progression, the expectation change. It's about the expectations. So that's why we need to align. We need, as much as possible, we need to ensure that our understanding of the expectation between the organization, the bosses, and us is as much as possible aligned. We are not sure. We inquire and we ask for explanation, because if this is not aligned, we will suffer. We will suffer. And always, as always, at us. Though we know that it's not us, we have put our effort, but sometimes efforts are not compensated with marks. Some it's compensated with given marks. Efforts, I don't think they will give marks. I'll give you an example. If you have submitted for a grant application, they say you submit, your friend and you have submitted 10 times, he has submitted 2 times. You submit 10 times, everyone rejected. He submits 2 times, both got awarded. So your 10 times effort in submitting your grants have 0 points in promotion. But he's, of course, he got 2 grants. So that's why I'm trying to highlight where efforts may not be considered in promotion as real contribution. Where in fact it should be. But there is a need for a clear mechanism for that. Okay. So what are actions to be taken? I will stop in maybe another 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Action to be taken, I think we must have personal goals. I think this is very clear. As an academic, have a very clear goals, align them with the organization, mission and mission. Must. If not, if you don't have goals, then do not talk about measurement because you do not know where you're going. If you do not know where we're going, do not ask. How can we ask where we are? Because we have no goals, we have no destination. So there's no point of, we are just wanderers in this life, wandering around without knowing where to go. Then do not talk about performance measurement because we do not have any goals. So goals, find a mentor or a model. If you have a mentor, good for you. If you don't have a mentor, find somebody that you can model your progress to. Because this is important, because that's the whole point of having people before you, because you can have the luxury of avoiding their mistakes, the mistakes they have done, and learn from their experience in order to expedite your progress in your career. Okay, manage and execute tasks based on importance and priority. This is I cannot stress more in terms of the critical importance of us knowing what's important, what's not important, what's priority, what's not less priority. Because and those which has the highest important and highest priority needs to be done as soon as possible. Talk about being as much as possible. Though we know that we are not superhuman, we try as much as possible to have some experience or some exposure to all the roles and responsibilities of an academic staff. Be it in an admin post, be it as a researcher, being as a consultant to the industry, working with the community, working, like say, supervising students, writing technical publications in journals, organizing conferences. As much as possible, we allow ourselves to be exposed to different kinds of experience so that will enrich our credibility as an academic, because we have the experience, okay, rather than talking just theoretical matters about some topics. Okay, and have clear strategies and processes to meet our goals. this is sometimes we know where we want to go. Our solution we have, but we do not have any strategies of how. You know where to go, why you need to go, when you need to go, but you do not know how to go, and that is a problem. So you need to have the process. So that's why in life, in order to achieve the goals, you need to have the process. If the process is there and you do the process with the permission of God, you'll get the goals. If you have your goals every day, you look at your goals, but you don't have any process in place, activities in place, you'll never reach the goals, because things wouldn't happen by chance. You need to be ready if there's opportunity coming, but you need to have the process. So that's why in any strategic plan, the most important one after setting the goals is the process. What you need to do day in, day out. That will accumulated, it will allow you to reach your goals. Mix with the right peers and crowd. I think this is, do not be a loner. And if you are in an academic setting, we can't be a loner. We need to interact. We need to reach out to others. We need to grow together with our colleagues. You can't be a loner, and you need to be the positive, the constructive person, not the pessimist, or not the one that will always bring the negative vibes to the discussion. We need to be constructive and supportive to our colleagues, because this as a whole will boost everyone up. Okay, keep progressing, move forward, no matter how small. I think this is important. Be fair to us. Do not compare ourselves to the person right next to us who are very, for example, he published, let's say, 5 Q1 papers every month, and you publish maybe 1 Q2 papers. It's okay. At least there are progress. Your measure, he can be your inspiration, but do not stress yourself out trying to meet his performance, because we have different capability and strength, and there are things which you do for sure better than him or her. So you need to know yourselves and focus on your strengths, so that you can also compensate for the weaknesses that obviously out there. And then make a decision and follow through. I think some of us have a problem of following through with our decisions. We make many decisions, but we do not follow through. This follow through is important, especially when we talk about your plans in terms of how you want to progress your career. Because if you don't follow through, you're going to go back to the cycle of planning, strategizing and planning without executing. Planning, strategizing must be followed through with execution. Adapt and adopt new ways of working. Do not worry to change your old habits, old style. There are many ways to do things. You are not strict to one particular way, and nobody says that in order to do this, you must only do it this way. They are always, as long as you do not break the laws. So, and it's also good to be naive about the laws in some aspect, because do not restrict yourself unnecessarily and self-audit yourself right from the onset. So it's good to adapt and adopt, explore new ways of working. Okay, be open to change, reevaluate all the actions that you have taken. Dare to be different and create a niche, possible, in your career. In research, I think I said this so many forums. Differentiate or die. Differentiate or die in terms of there is an urgent need of differentiation of yourself, of your strength. So there must be a differentiation. You cannot be just same old. I'm just like the rest. No, you have differentiation. As academic, there must be a differentiation, especially in research. Okay, and then willingness to learn. We are always learning. Do not stop yourself from learning. We are never so clever that we do not need to learn from anyone. There are always new things to learn, and you need to keep up this motivation to learn. And then focus on the task. Be a good team leader, and finally, be a leader, especially when there's a need to lead. And do not follow with things which you do not understand and you have no clarity of. This is important, because in life, if you don't plan and execute your plan, you will basically execute other people's plan. So it's good to plan what you want to do and execute your plan, rather than not knowing what to do and you just executing others' plan. So So you are not a servant to others. You have your brain, you have your integrity, and you know what you want to do. And I said, I want to wrap up my sharing this morning, and we can wholly discuss. KPI are there. KPI will never go away. I know the discussion today. KPI is stressful. KPI is that and this and that. But I can tell you, KPI will always be there, because there's a reason for that. KPI, if used well, is going to be an incentive, something which is very critical to success of the organization. But if it is not used well in an institution, it will kill the institution. You need to have the good stress. The KPI should lead to the good stress kind of thing, not that push academy into a distress, burnout, frustration kind of situation. Okay, and there are a reason of why you have KPIs. KPIs are there as a form of measurement. You need to measure whether you want am I successful or not. KPI will help us. Why use KPI? To stay focused, etc. And everything that we do have KPI. So separate it. Do not. The problem is this: do not see KPI as a negative connotation. Everything time you see KPI, you think about negative connotation, and that will backfire seriously on you. See KPI as a neutral term. It's a neutral actually term. It's just how we see it, how we use it in order to propel us to progress. Do not see KPI as something negative. Every time you see KPI negative, you respond negatively, you react negatively, then it will not be good to anyone. So you need to see KPI as something which we as a tool to assist you, and it has proven itself to able to push individual and organization further. And then we know that if an initiative does not improve KPI, it is out of scope. There are things which can be captured in KPI, but there are things, as I mentioned earlier, can be captured in the KIP, the key intangible things. So that's why we can capture everything that we do in either these two headings. Okay. So at the end of the day, we are trying to push ourselves out of the comfort zone, and this is the growth zone. As I said, you can see the growth zone. You have the comfort zone. I have some my own personal experience. There are my colleagues who say that I don't want to apply for a promotion. I'm very comfortable with as a senior lecturer. I'm very comfortable. I don't want to stress myself. As long as they don't kick me out of university, I'm very okay. So there are people like that. I mean, they're so in their comfort zone that they don't want to do anything, because there's nothing. There's no stick that will say if you don't perform, you'll be kicked out. Especially in public university. Public university is very difficult to terminate the staff. So there's a lot of process. Some people, they utilize it. They say, okay lah, it's not easy to terminate me, right? So I can just stay. It's okay, my salary enough already. So kalau kita lead a institution with so many people in there, like with that attitude, as a leader in that institution, we are in trouble. The institution will just stay so they cannot move forward. Okay, but as individual, we want to move from the comfort zone, overcoming the fear zone, learning zone, and then we go to the growth zone. But all this, if you relate to the performance stress level, this is as much as within the eustress or within the good stress zone, the optimal performance. So this is what our aim lah. Okay. So the biggest obstacles in our lives are the barriers our mind creates. So do not, kita kena keluarkan, kena buang sikap suka. Kalau kita tak maju, kita tak naik pangkat, salahkan orang. Kalau kita tak boleh perform, kita salahkan faculty, salahkan. Well, for all you know, memang betul lah. Mungkin betul lah you cakap tu, tapi there's nothing that much that you can do. But things that you can fix yourself, that yang ada pada kita, boleh ubah. Tapi kalau kita keep blaming, satisfy yourself for short temporarily you will satisfy lah, sebab you dah boleh salahkan orang kan, tapi you still did not progress. You're still there where you are before. So things that you can change yourself. So we change ourselves because to the better, so that we can hopefully get better different outcome. Okay, so there are old habits, new habits. So if you want to get something new, if you want to get something that you have not got before, you have something that you have not done before. Kalau kita nak something new, kita kena ada new habits lah. Tak bolehlah kita nak something new tapi nak kekal macam kita sedia diri. Tak boleh dalam mana-mana begini pekerjaan pun. Kalau kita lah as an academic in the university, if you want to excel effectively, become an effective academic, excel, meeting all the expectation, we need to do the changes first. Of course, the system will change, but we must be the agent of change. We must change first. If you don't change, and we wait until others change, we are losing battle. Okay, so to conclude my sharing, first, we must do what we must do. Do not make procrastination as a habit. Do not procrastinate, do not wait, do not delay. If you have to do, you just do it. Okay? Strive to deliver the best outcome in anything that we do or instructed to do, help others to be successful, and as much as possible, win as a team. You will see, I think you will see in your life as an academic, people who will do everything for his own or her own success. But you will also see, inshallah, people who, when they become successful, they become successful as a team. You want to be successful together. Okay, and this is to me is the best planning and the best way forward. Okay, learn and implement the good practices which have been proven by others. Be happy and enjoy the vocational work as an academic. I think this is critical. Be happy with where you are now, and find ways to enjoy your working. Because if you work in a university for 30 years and you suffer for the last 30 years, I really pity you. So we need to really enjoy what we do. Okay, be flexible in our goals and strategies to achieve our goals. And of course, there are many other things. I think I can share this later. But to me, if I can conclude, some people dream of success, while others people get up every morning and make it happen. I think this is the call for action. I think for academics, I think it is below us. It is below us if our daily activity is to complain and complain and complain. We need to call for action. It's we take action. Because if you don't take action, you'll fall into your habits of complaining and commenting on others. Everyone else are wrong. The university, the faculty, the rules, regulation. You are the only one that is right in this case, and you wouldn't help yourself at all. So I think I would stop at this point. Dream big, set goals, and take action. Okay. So thank you very much. I hope you have gained something from my sharing. Macam orang tua lah cakap dengan ni kan. So maybe we can open up the area. We open some discussion. We have until 11:30. So I'm sorry if there's something I said wrong or lukakan perasaan.
No problem. That's fine. That it makes me, okay, thank you. Thank you, Prof, for the sharing. Basically, it makes me refresh. And sometimes we got tired with our current jobs and we forget to focus on the other side of our KPI, such as maybe publications and research, because we are too focusing on teaching, right? So I open the floor for questions or discussions. Maybe you want to ask Prof your conditions. Anyone would like to ask questions?
Or you can give your views. It's okay. Not necessarily questions.
Okay. Okay, Prof. I have some, not question actually, I would like to know your opinions because some university, they not only focus on the research, teaching or publications, but they also encourage us to do community service. Okay, so what do you think with this extra, highlights, maybe we could say, not burden, but yeah. It's kind of, we should focus on the community service part.
Okay, I think this is I see this in the last, I would say last 5 to 10 years, I think they start the progression of more involvement of universities or academia with community are given emphasis by the ministry, by the university lah. And I think it's a high time. It's high time for university to be impactful to the society. Now, I think this discussion of impact factor or impactful, kan? Are you collecting the impact factor or are you trying to create real impact to society?
Yes. Impact factor is in the publication, right, Prof?
Yeah. Impact factor we need lah.
But impactful is our
we need to be
contribution.
impactful also, because there are situations where, you know, the irony is you have a very high modern facilities in a university setting, and right next to the fence you have a very poor community living next to the university, you know. So that means as though there's nothing taken out from the university in terms of the comforts, in terms of the intelligence, in terms of the wisdom that will assist the community living at least within near vicinity of the university lah. So meaning that shows the urgency for us to bring real impact or impactful activities that will uplift the society. I think this is good, but the problem is I see some people will see this effort as taking their time away from the fundamental things that will help them to get promotion. So I think the issue is not with the thing that they're doing, but it is about the university evaluating, giving merits to where it's supposed to give lah. Maksudnya pihak universiti yang kena re-evaluate the KPI. The KPIs. Because KPI, kalau sebab tu KPI driven, dia nak senang cerita. Macam mana nak faham KPI ni? Okay, contoh kita ada private university dengan public university. Public university ni dia sebenarnya tak perlu risau tentang duit, sebab it is covered by the government, by the country, by the government lah. So dia tak perlu risau tentang gaji, tentang ni, sebab itu memang diberi oleh pihak kerajaan, kementerian lah kan. So dia, sebab tu this talk about income generation ni sebenarnya berapa persen je. It's too little sebenarnya to if you take away all the government support to all the public university, tomorrow semua tutup lah, kita ni termasuk tak kerja lah. Sebab tak ada. But when you go to the private university, dia memang dollar and cents, memang ringgit and cents lah. So dia memang
business
minded. Jadi KPI bagi dia is surely different dengan KPI bagi kita. So dia tak nak lah, they have to spend their resources untuk bring impact to society, and yet they tak boleh convert into something yang monetary, financial gain to them. I can guarantee you dia mesti ada calculation dia. Calculation to make sure all the investment to bring something to the university, the private ni lah. Because
return of investment.
Return investment. Macam kita ni, sebab tu kita universiti ni, public university ni, kalau kita saya assume lah majority kita public university ni, kita sepatutnya tidak ada isu untuk meningkatkan aktiviti dengan masyarakat. Tetapi the onus is on the university to give proper points to that. Kalau you kata tapi tak ada points, apa nak buat? Kalau kita ni, tu saya walaupun kita tentang faculty academic, I still take away talk about promotion, because that is the sebenarnya to be honest saya tu sebenarnya kan. Bincang-bincang kita nak cerita senang naik pangkat ni. Ni kalau macam tu kan, we talk about promotion lah. Tapi bagi saya tidak ada hinanya atau kurangnya pujahan tu, sebab itu realiti kita. Bila kita dah achieve a certain level of in terms of covering that aspect, kita sepatut go to higher level lah, meaningful, bringing meaning to our vocation, not just working on the promotion. I can guarantee you, once you become professor, duit tak cukup juga. Bukanlah kita, sebab tu if you put money as your main incentive of why your drive, you will die poor lah, because you takkan selesai kan. Tapi kalau kita kata letak meaning, bring impact to society, saya rasa it's a noble punya mission, cuma di pihak universiti lah. Dia kena
appreciate and acknowledge
dia kena ambil kira. Kalau tak nanti
the jobs.
Kadang nanti staff takkan buat lah, sebab dia kata benda tu tak membantu dia lah.
Ada yang kata juga macam lillahi ta'ala lah Prof, kita buat sebab kita macam nak
Betul lah, betul.
Yeah, even the university didn't recognize that. Okay, so we have one question, Prof, from
Okay.
Mr. Sharul Junaini. Okay, so the question is, how do you delegate tasks to your co-authors, especially non-students in your article writing project? Any tips to extract the best from them? Basically, how do we measure the co-authors in publication? Sometimes ada juga yang macam tumpang-tumpang je kan, Prof. So yeah, how to extract the best from, like, the percentage or contributions?
Okay. Saya rasa kita kena lihat publication ni as the outcome of research. Publication tu bukan tiba-tiba bangun pagi saya nak tulis paper, tak ada kan. Ada orang gitu kan. Maksud saya kebanyakan orang tulis paper tu selepas after a long process of research and research work lah, R&D work. Masuk lab, buat eksperimen, collect data, simulate, buat practical, bla bla bla, dapat results that you write. So bagi saya, kalau yang dikatakan co-authors tu, dia telah terlibat daripada awal. Dia memang terlibat. The research would just get eksperimen. Dia tak terlibat secara langsung dengan menulis, tapi terlibat secara langsung dalam mendapatkan data. Project. Dan dia boleh, kadang-kadang bagi saya tidak ada his right lah, sebab he is part of the report. The publication is the report. As an outcome of the research.
Contribution on the projects.
Bukanlah maknanya co-authors ni mesti dia kena tulis 3 paragraf, saya kena tulis 2 paragraf. Kalau ada, you can see kalau you buka Nature ke all this medical journal ni, dia punya author sampai 50 orang. 50 orang. Kalau macam
the team, dia tulis semua team dalam projek tu.
Yes, semua dalam team. Saya ingat lagi yang ada scientist, researcher Cambridge ke Oxford yang pasal black hole tu. Kan?
Ada student Malaysia pun ada tu kan.
Beratus author dia. Are you telling me setiap orang tu ada
writing?
I don't think so. It's not that. He or she have contributed in ensuring he got the data that we used to write the publication.
The experiment, the data collection.
So kalau itulah publication tu is the outcome of that research, bagi saya tak ada isu lah author sebenarnya. Tapi isunya begini, dia tak terlibat apa-apa. Dia terlibat, tiba-tiba dia nak edit authors.
Itu isu.
Sebab apa? Sebab dia tolong baca tu semua. Tak boleh lah. That is wrong lah, ethically wrong lah.
Ataupun dia review that paper but without contribute to the is it okay? Macam
kalau somebody macam you write paper, you ask me to review. Saya review lah, saya komen-komen ke mana, lepas tu saya kata you must put my name. Kenapa? Sebab saya review your paper. Itu penat lah, habis general reviewer tu.
Kena letak nama dia lah pula kan.
Mana boleh. So maknanya tu respon tu doktor yang tanya tu. Author sih dia sepatutnya kalau dia memang terlibat dalam proses, so saya tidak ada isu. By right, dia terlibat dalam penyediaan manuskrip tu. Tapi kadang-kadang macam pengalaman saya peribadi, kadang student yang prepare manuskrip tu, kita dah survey dia buat dengan dia, kita akan bagi masa lagi bincang tentang angle of discussion sebagainya. So gitulah. Tapi yang kita tak nak ni purely memang writing, dia memang piggyback semua, macam masuk nama stories of, there are stories, ni stories lah kita boleh bincang panjang lah, contoh there are stories yang mana dia kan kata keluar arahan semua paper kat school tu fakulti tu ada nama dia, atau contoh lah, atau dia mengarah COE, dia kata semua paper pada Center of Excellence tu kena ada nama dia. Itu pelik lah kan. Tapi sebenarnya dalam dunia akademik ni, kalau you are the one that practice benda tu, you have to worry because people will catch, people will akan nampak lah. Nanti nak orang kata dia ni sibuk tapi paper sama beratus-ratus tahun. It's illogical. Jadi co-authors dalam konteks yang dia memang terlibat pada awal tak ada isu. Cuma kalau macam jadi jenis yang tiba-tiba muncul daripada right, tiba-tiba muncul ni, ini tak boleh lah. Macam tu lah. Itu saya punya respon lah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So inshallah, if it's they contribute from the for the result, so it's okay to put them as well. Okay, I hope it's answer, Mr. Sharul. Any more? Maybe someone wants to turn on their mic and speak to share views with Prof. Rizal.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Hi, Prof. How are you?
Baik, alhamdulillah tu Syahni.
Okay. Okay, I have a question actually. I just want to, how to say, maybe your views or opinion, Prof. Like now in Unimap now give that some of us are holding what positions,
Okay.
and then it doesn't give us much time to actually publish. But then when we go for promotion interviews or confirmation or anything that's pertaining to kenaikan pangkat, they do not see that there's a lot of time taken in to actually run the administrative administrative jobs lah yang kita ada kan diberikan.
Betul.
So I always feel that it's a bit unfair because we want to turn down, so kadang-kadang diberi kita kena terima kan. And then when we're taken the role, a lot of time is given on managing the center or faculty and so on. So it doesn't give us time to actually focus on what we need to do as an academician. So what is your advice? How would you ask us to, how to manage it lah? Basically, we can't be. The other day, I will give like an instance. There was one time somebody during a confirmation from from our center. So it was YSTAR. This person was also a PR. And of course, during the interview, she has publication, but not high impact. And that was actually used as a reason that why she doesn't deserve to be confirmed, even though she was holding a position. So I felt that was a bit unfair because as long as you try to publish, you manage your time within and doing your management and as a staff, and not to say there's no publication. So what's your view on this, Prof?
Nah, saya pun Dr. Syamini is a dia apa sekarang head of department.
Okay.
Dia apa sekarang head department?
Still ketua jabatan, Prof.
Ketua jabatan lah, pusat apa nama tak. Saya dah lupa lah sebenarnya tu.
How could you forget so fast, Prof?
Dr. Syamini, Dr. Karai, Dr. Syamini, I used to alumni dulu di UNIMAT. So anyway,
reunion
online. Kita boleh reunion. Anyway,
ramai UNIMAP ni, Prof.
Okay. Apa ni, satu saya nak beritahu, that's why yang universiti macam saya cerita UNIMAP lah sesuai masa saya di sana, kita create the career path tu. Cuma career path tu dia akan cuma start lepas prasamadya. That's a challenge lah. Maksudnya selepas prasamadya baru start dia punya streaming tu. Maksudnya admin management path, research path, teaching path, macam tu lah kan.
Betul.
So kalau macam orang yang pegang pos, sepatutnya ideally orang yang pegang pos sepatutnya dia at least assistant professor lah. Itu in ideal case, supaya dia dah ada minimum level of academic credentials, supaya bila dia masuk assistant professor tu dia ada dia punya academic traction tu, supaya dia boleh move terus. Kalau orang tu belum assistant professor, dia belum ada solid academic research traction atau academic punya foundation, dia akan ada banyak masalah lah. Maksudnya the first 2 years dah pegang, let's say deputy dean atau dean lah, memang in trouble lah, sebab dia pun student pun tak ada lagi, grant pun. Tapi realitinya akan berlaku begitulah sebab constraint of the organisation, sebab orang tak ada yang kredibel. Sebab kadang-kadang orang ni, being a leader ni, tak semua orang leader tua. Walaupun dia ada orang, macam ni lah, ada orang ni, leadership is about influence, the ability to influence. Ada orang dia memang banyak paper, tapi kalau jadi itu memang tak bergerak lah organisasi tu. Sebab he cannot influence others to work. Ada orang, dia ada around, dia mungkin tak berapa perform dari segi research sebagainya, but he or she are those who can move others, influence. So this is the balance yang pihak pengurusan tertinggi kena nilai lah. Tapi sepatutnya dalam kenaikan pangkat ataupun confirmation, kalau public usually confirmation, kenaikan pangkat ni, there's always a room for discretion atau budi bicara pihak penilai lah. Dan memang pengalaman walaupun sekejap di UNIMAP tu, pengalaman manis lah. Okay, boleh pengalaman manis Dr. Syamini di UNIMAP tu, 2 tahun tu, memang kita gunakan juga discussion untuk staff-staff yang telah memberi servis, yang ketika usia muda mereka telah berkorban untuk membangunkan school. Tetapi tak berbanding rakam mereka tidak dengan jawatan yang excel akademik lah. Dia tak bersebatas sebab pengampus tak berhenti. Deputy Dean sebagainya kan. Selalu pihak universiti kena ada discretion. Tetapi discretion pun dia kena as much as possible boleh justify the minimum requirement. This is a challenge lah. Kalau macam, bagi saya kalau confirmation yang tadi yang contoh Dr. Syamini dia bagi tu macam lebih keras sikit lah. Sepatutnya kalau kenaikan pangkat, mungkin tak apa sebab dia ada minimum. Jadi untuk minimum tu memang tak boleh lari lah sebab macam profesor juga. To become professor, there is a minimum. Bagi saya ada minimum walaupun macam-macam lah. Tapi maksudnya kena fulfill the minimum. Jadi bagi yang tadi tu, as much as possible sepatutnya pihak pengurusan tinggi dia kena ambil kira lah this person punya contribution, dan hopefully dengan adanya career path tadi tu yang macam-macam tu dia boleh alleviate some of these issues lah. Itulah tu Syamini nak jawab pun berlapik ni.
I see now, Prof. So I guess that for every, how to say, it's we need to achieve the minimum lah. I guess that
betul lah.
sebab banyak staff not aware, and most of them like us lah, sometimes we hold positions, we tend to take that, or maybe the management will give us, be more flexible with us. But I guess I do agree lah, for any promotion, at least you must at least achieve minimum lah, regardless of where you come from. Okay, that is quite fair, Prof. So I agree. Thank you very much for your.
Dia Dr. Syamini bila tak pakai jawapan ni senang cakap macam ni.
PM tepi lah, Prof. PM tepi.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Syamini.
Thanks, Prof.
I think this is what most of the people who holds jawatan, so they tend to forget what the main jobs like other KPI that you are doing.
Betul.
Too much focus on the administrative, and we will not do the other. So maybe it might not reach the minimum.
Betul.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, so as Dr. Ramayah also said, we like it or not, we have to make it the name also KPI, right? So we make it at least or more, maybe. Inshallah, we try. Okay, try your best. I also would like to invite all of you to join Printis. The website is I've shared in the chat box. Printis.org.my. So if there is no more questions, are there any more questions? Okay, one more from Mr. Syarul. Untuk kenaikan ke Profesor Madya, what is the minimum numbers of scopus or Web of Science papers that we should have? Any estimate numbers? 10, 30, 50? What is your opinion?
Okay, ni. Tapi before that, saya nampak ada yang komen pasal basket tu kan? Sebelum Dr. Ramaya yang Aifah Muhammad Ali kan? Yang many basket tu. Yang many basket tu.
Is there how many basket to fill in? How can
okay. So saya address this question
Okay,
saya ada Syarul tanya tadi lah.
So ada dua soalan lagi, Prof.
Okay. Proses Madya begini, saya punya formula lah, bukan saya punya formula, saya punya ringkasan. Ringkasan kepada Proses Madya dengan Profesor. Profesor Madya is about your visibility at the national level. Professor is about your visibility at the international level. So antara soalan wajib kalau saya jadi panel Profesor Madya, saya akan tanya, who are you? Where are you at the national level within your field? Kalau macam kata saya ni bidang saya antena. Saya nak Profesor Madya, dia kata tu saya ni kalau sebut nama Rizal ni satu Malaysia tahu antena. Dia ni main bidang antena. Maknanya saya dah visible at the national level. I am a expert reference person in that field at the national level. Itu bagi saya, kalau saya tu, saya tengok bila saya tanya external asset evaluator, maka kita kata dia ni memang dah reach the aura or the position of a Professor Madya, at least sebab dia dah well known at the national level. Kalau Professor, we will ask you, who are you at international scene in your domain? Kalau you antena, kalau satu dunia yang saya tanya expert kat Jerman, kat Malaysia ni dia tahu siapa internal, dia kata oh he's this guy from UTM ke UM ke USM ke, dia ni memang expert, he is known within our circle. Your visibility at the international level. Jadi kalau saya di mana, saya kata soalan tu je, where are you at the national level? Professor, where are you at the international level? Sebab tu antara benda yang dinilai untuk professorship ialah how many keynote speech have you been invited to, keynote lecture. Oh, saya dah di-invited dekat Japan, dekat Russia semua. Okay lah kan, masa people know you lah, at least that time kita ni. Tapi you punya keynote semua international, semua kat Malaysia, semua dalam Malaysia. So kita
level
kata
Profesor Madya je lah tu, Prof.
Profesor Madya lah. Tu okay. Balik pada soalan Dr. Syarul, sebenarnya tak boleh nak jawab. Dan dia, saya tak boleh nak jawab 10 ke.
Dia depends on university, right, Prof?
Satu universiti, satu bidang.
Bidang, okay.
Ada bidang, you publish 2 paper dalam Nature.
Betul.
2 je paper.
Tapi nature kan, dia punya
Nature, impact factor 50 lebih.
Betul.
Okay.
So,
kalau you Profesor Madya pada universiti, agak-agak universiti bagi tak? Saya rasa universiti berat nak bagi saya rasa. Dia bukan berat, ringan nak bagi, bukan berat nak bagi. Dia akan mudah untuk bagi sebab berapa orang dalam Malaysia dan dunia ni, dalam Malaysia ni yang publish dekat Nature. You pula publish 50 paper, tapi semua rendah lah, impact factor tapi rendah. So dia susah nak kata. It's not about the number of papers, the quality of papers, the reach out, dia punya sejauh mana dia rujuk citation sebagainya. Sebab sukar lah, tapi kalau tanya saya biasa kalau Madya, kalau orang tua ada let's say 8-10 papers ISI, saya dah satisfied lah, dan dia visible di national level, well known, dia dah biasa evaluate thesis, external examiners, dia ada student supervision, at least seorang atau 2 PhD, masters 3 atau 4, dia ada grant. So bagi saya good enough, tapi dia akan berubah mengikut universiti masing-masing lah ya. Sebab saya universiti, tapi kita macam ni lah, kita ni memang universiti masing-masing, ada universiti strict, ada universiti tak apa strict, tapi gaji kita sama je. Sebab tu kalau macam datang USM ni, Apex universiti katanya kan, gaji tak beza dengan universiti lain pun. So tidaklah ni sama juga kalau you go to UM, the expectation very high, tapi gaji sama je dengan universiti lain kan. So depending where you are. Soalan tadi tentang basket tu, saya nak beritahu, while you are young, energetic, you get yourself involved in as many baskets as possible. Sebab tu kena baik-baik dengan mentor ni yang nanti dia ajak lah you join. Tapi kalau you di something kan, muka tak nak kawan dengan orang kan, rasa kita hebat, people do not want to get you involved in their group. So get yourself, network with others, open yourself.
Yeah,
so that you want to
team is important, right, Prof?
Team is important. Saya nak beritahu lah.
Seorang-seorang memang
tak boleh. So you have to have your team. If you have your team, you can progress. Tapi kalau memang ada orang dia boleh access seorang-seorang, tapi I tell you, no, people do not like him or her. Because dia naik seorang-seorang je, lepas tu dia tinggalkan orang lain kan. So kita nak naik as a team. Because then that will stronger punya progression lah daripada you seorang, and when you jatuh very hard lah. Macam tu lah.
Kata apa ni, if you want to walk far, walk together kan.
Betul kalau nak you want to walk fast, you go alone lah kan.
Alone, right, but I don't know how fast, but it does not maintain pun tak rugi jugalah kan.
Sebab saya beritahu macam di Jepun, dia big feudal system lah. Lab dia ada professor, associate professor, ada lecturer, ada student, sebab dia macam tu pyramid tu, sebab dia build a team. The system build the team. Jadi kalau siapa biasa belajar di Jepun, sebab itu akan ensure that the team will give a good output. Dia individual centered. Tak ada seorang profesor je. Kalau profesor pergi, habis jatuh. So rugilah.
So ada associate tu boleh kita berharap jugalah kan.
Itulah.
But in my own opinion, we macam Prof mention just now, we should have a mentor, because the mentor can lead us and tell us where we should contribute, and dia akan ajak kita lah any recent projects ke apa. So it would help also for me. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, so for Dr. Ramaya who sharing opinion so much, I appreciate so much your opinion.
Dr. Ramaya from where?
Dr. Faiza, I guess.
USM.
US.
Oh, Ramaya, yes, Sam.
Apa, Prof? Sama
Sorry.
ya.
So, I don't know. sorry.
Okay. If it's not too much, maybe I can request before we end up the session to have a photo session.
Okay, please.
Can Prof stop sharing boleh, Prof?
Oh, yeah, sorry, saya stop share. Slide nanti saya akan share kepada slide ni saya share kemudian Nana. Saya bagi
boleh.
okay.
Okay, so thank
Oh,
you.
Dr. Ramaya, sorry Dr. Ramaya. Aduh.
Dia banyak tu sharing. Okay, 1, 2, 3 smile. Okay. Okay, sekejap. Boleh tu masuk. Okay, tengah ambil gambar. Sekejap, satu lagi Doktor. Page kedua.
Okay. Okay.
Alright, so thank you everyone.
Okay, terima kasih kepada semua.
Joining us. I
Terima kasih.
appreciate so much your response, contributions. And once again, if you would like to join Perintis, please visit the website perintis.org.my, and we also have 50% discount due to our annual general meeting this Saturday. So you are also most invited. Okay. So with that, I would like to end this session with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and thank you so much, Prof. Rizal. And okay, don't forget our next session in April. The topic would be climbing the academic ladder, tips and strategy for early career academics. So inshallah, we'll join you again. Please stay tuned with our announcement. So that's all.